Adamu, the great hunter. Long ago, in a lush, untamed land of dense forest and sweeping savannas, there lived a man named Adamu, renowned far and wide as the great hunter. His name was whispered with awe in villages scattered across the land, for he was not just a hunter, but a protector, a wise sage, and a master of survival. The animals of the forest respected him, the people trusted him, and the spirits of the land honored him. It was said that no beast, no matter how fierce, could escape his arrows, and no enemy, no matter how cunning, could outwit his mind. Adamu was born in the heart of the ancient forest, in a small village where the people lived close to the earth and lived off what it provided. His father, a hunter himself, passed on to Adamu the skills of the bow, the spear, and the traps, teaching him to listen to the language of the wind and the trees, to understand the whispers of the forest. His mother, a healer, taught him the secrets of plants, herbs, and medicine. From them, Adamu learned the balance between taking from nature and giving back, for his people lived by a code that dictated they never take more than they needed. As a boy, Adamu quickly grew strong and agile, learning to track animals through the thick underbrush and climb the tallest trees with ease. The villagers noticed his extraordinary abilities, and by the time he reached manhood, he was already known as the finest hunter in the region. His fame spread across the land, even reaching the ears of neighboring kings and chiefs, who sought his aid in hunting the most dangerous of beasts. But it wasn't just his skill with a bow or his incredible strength that made Adamu stand out, it was his deep connection to the forest. He understood that the land was alive, that the spirits of the forest and the rivers watched over him. He knew how to communicate with them, how to give offerings, and how to honor the animals he hunted. He was not just a man of physical prowess but one of spiritual depth. One fateful day, a powerful storm swept across the land. Dark clouds filled the sky, and lightning struck the earth with such intensity that it split the largest trees. In the aftermath of the storm, the villagers discovered something troubling. There were signs of a dark force rising in the east. The forest that had always been a source of sustenance was now silent and barren. The animals were disappearing, and the trees began to wither. The elders of the village gathered, worried that something ancient and malevolent had awoken in the depths of the forest. They called upon Adamu, the great hunter, for help. He was the only one with the knowledge, skill, and bravery to face the darkness that now threatened their lives. Adamu accepted the call without hesitation. He knew that the balance of the land had been disturbed, and something powerful was at work, something unnatural. The spirits of the forest had not been heard for days, and even the winds whispered of an impending doom. With his bow, his spear, and a patch of sacred herbs, Adamu set off into the depths of the forest. As he traveled deeper, he noticed the signs of the corruption. The once vibrant leaves now turned black, the rivers dried up, and the animals that had always lived in harmony with the villagers had either fled or perished. The very earth beneath his feet seemed to groan in pain. After days of travel, Adamu reached the heart of the forest, where the trees were tallest and the shadows thickest. Here, he encountered a strange creature, an enormous, twisted serpent, its body glistening with venomous scales, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. This serpent was unlike any other, and Adamu could sense that it was the source of the corruption. The serpent spoke in a voice like thunder, its words carrying the weight of ancient malice. "You are too late, Adamu the great hunter. The balance has already been tipped. The spirits of the forest belong to me now." Adamu, unshaken, stood tall before the serpent. "I do not seek to destroy, but to restore," he said calmly. "I am not alone in this fight. The spirits of the forest and the wisdom of my people are with me." With those words, he placed his hand on the ground and whispered a prayer. The earth trembled beneath him, and the winds began to stir. The spirits of the forest, who had long been silent, awakened at his call. The trees groaned as they regained their strength, and the rivers began to flow once more. The serpent hissed in fury as the balance of power began to shift. The battle between Adamu and the serpent raged for hours. The serpent lashed out with venomous strikes, but Adamu was swift and nimble, dodging and countering with precision. He knew that defeating the serpent by force alone would not restore the balance. He needed to weaken its hold over the land. Using his knowledge of the earth and the spirits, Adamu struck at the serpent's heart, aiming not at its body, but at the dark magic that fueled it. In a final, desperate strike, Adamu planted his spear deep into the serpent's chest. The serpent let out a deafening roar as the dark magic dissipated, and with it, the corruption that had spread across the land. The serpent's body crumbled to dust, and in its place, a vibrant, life-giving energy began to surge through the forest. Adamu stood victorious, but he knew his work was not done. He spent the next few days in the heart of the forest, healing the land, speaking with the spirits, and performing rituals to restore harmony. Slowly but surely, the forest began to regain its strength. The animals returned, the trees grew tall once more, and the rivers flowed with crystal-clear water. Adamu returned to his village as a hero, but he never sought fame or glory. He was content knowing that the balance had been restored. He continued to live by the teachings of his father and mother, hunting only what was needed, and always giving thanks to the spirits of the land. He became a living legend, not just because of his strength or skill, but because of his wisdom, humility, and respect for the natural world. As the years passed, Adamu's name became synonymous with protection, balance, and the wisdom of the forest. His legacy lived on, not just in the stories told around the fire, but in the land itself, which flourished in peace and harmony, a testament to the great hunter who had saved it all. And so, Adamu the great hunter, the protector of the forest, became an eternal figure in the tales of the people, a symbol of the deep connection between humankind and the natural world, and a reminder that true power lies not in domination, but in respect and balance.